go from Daytona International Speedway. We welcome you back to VOR IndyCar Racing. It has been an awful long time, over a month actually, since our last race. And of course, the last time we were at this Daytona International Speedway, obviously minus the Super Speedway Series race a couple of weeks ago, it was actually a caution-free VOR IndyCar race. Can we do it again? It's possible. We'll just have to see how it all turns out. But tonight, we welcome you into race number, I believe it's 5 of the VOR IndyCar season. It is the Let's Race Daytona 400 here from the virtual Daytona International Speedway on iRacing. I am the captain. We welcome you in as we get you ready for racing here at the Daytona International Speedway. Of course, cars are grading right now as they get ready to get locked and loaded. Let's take a look at the track information. That is not the track information scala. That is the logo of the broadcast. It's because I loaded the wrong thing on the wrong thingamajiggy, or whatever you want to call it. But hey, either way, I will get you track info here literally in moments. I promise. But either way, going to have some great racing here tonight. 100 laps, 250 miles, 400 kilometers of racing around this 2.5 mile super speedway. That's what I'm looking for. There it is. Round number 4, season 7, as we get ready to get locked and loaded. There is 100 laps, 400 kilometers, 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. Chris Cressage won in season 5. His only career win in the series came at this track, of course, in this series, as the cars will start to roll off one by one and head to the track, and we will show you the starting lineup for the race. As Will Lyon will start on the pole. 37 seconds around Daytona. Yeah, that's 200 and fast miles an hour. He'll start next to AJ Musselman. Sven Von Cannell will start next to Oscar Gonzalez there in row number 2. Julian Altina, Matt Houston, they'll take row number 3. Bart Fauerstein and Frankie Franchicha, I believe that's pronounced. He'll start there in the 8th position. Nicholas Sadiq and Patrick Krause in row 5. Seb Alexander and Jesper Ullman making a return. We'll start there in row 6. Row 7 is Ty Richter and Lewis Woodall. Josh Tucker and Sebastian Kinder there in row 8. Jose Granado and Matthias Strauss in row 9. We'll have something about Jose here in just a moment. James Watson, Pablo Diaz Francis there in row 10. Row 11, Dakota DeMay and Thomas Geisler. Diego Pereno, John Silva in the 12th row. Row number 13 is where you'll see Cesar Cabral in DL Lemon. Fran Herrera, Mauro Ramirez there in row number 19. Row 14, I should say. Row 15, Mardonis and Godso. And that should finish out what I believe is the 30-car lineup here in tonight's race. That'll go 100 laps, as I mentioned, and 100 laps, 400 kilometers, 250 miles. I promise I'll get it right as we go racing for the second time in open wheels at Daytona. Everybody starts to kind of get themselves formed up here. You're going to see the draft just like you would at a super speedway race at a stock car, or much like you would see at like Auto Club or Michigan, is what you're going to see around this track, except a lot faster speeds. Of course, our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online, on Facebook, on the iRacing forums, and more. They are at TrackCams22.com, and our main website. Appreciate what they do for us as Will Lyon brings them across the line to lead lap 1. Musselman trying to climb to that top side. Von Cannell, Gonzalez, Houston, Alexander, all those guys right there, top 6. In this pack, you should not see much of spreading out until we get to probably pit stops and that kind of thing. Musselman leading lap 2 on that top side. One thing you do not want to do is get out here and bump draft and push each other, because that is where the wrecks come. Especially when you're back here in this kind of pack where you're 3 wide already. Jesper Elman, Ty Richter, Lewis Wood, all these guys in this pack of hounds. As we complete lap number 3, line back to the front with Van Cannell. Take a look at the pit board here for tonight's race. 100 laps, fuel window only 23 to 27 laps. Remember, only 80% fuel in these cars now, so it's a little less than last season. So that's going to create a 3-stop race straight up to get to the finish. So strategy not really a matter, just a matter of getting in. If you get tires, you get tires. If not, you don't. Get out of the pits and be the first one to cross the line. Guess I should turn the audio down on my speaker. I'm not used to... I'm used to having my sound coming out of my headphones, so when I broadcast now, I have to actually turn the audio of my sound, what do you call this thing? The sound bar. I have to turn it down so it don't come through my microphone, basically, or else you're going to hear the cars in the background and then the cars again a second time. It can be kind of reverberable, or whatever the word is. Repetitive. There it is. So we go down the back straightaway. Lap number 5 already complete. As you see, line up front, Von Cannell, Houston, Alexander, Musselman, Franchicha, I believe that's pronounced there, in the 6th position. You got Gonzalez there in 7th, but an inside line kind of forming right now. We ride with Alexander in the 4th position right now, 4th car in line. Just be patient. 230 miles an hour of being patient. As we're 7 laps complete already in this race. Richter, Gonzalez there, side by side. You see Mauro Ramirez is in there, Oscar Gonzalez. Now, want to talk a little bit about the situation. We didn't get a chance to talk about it here pre-race, after a little bit of a shortened pre-race, but there was, of course, a race at Phoenix about a month ago, and that race had a little bit of a dramatic finish in the end, and definitely played a role in some penalties and things that came out during the break, and that's pretty much our biggest news during that couple weeks off, other than having a super speedway series and a bunch of things happening. There was a penalty that was announced. If I ever could learn how to work Discord pages and stuff, we'd be great. Here it is. So going back to the Phoenix race, it was announced the accident that happened between Matthias Kraus and Cam Boston. Of course, Cameron ended up winning that race after contact with the 59 on the final lap. It was announced that he would have a Tier 1 penalty, and was actually moved back due to time, the time penalty to 4th position. in the finish. So the winner of that race actually turned out to be the 80 car of Granado, who, I guess if you have to say officially is the winner of the race, would be him, because of that penalty that came out, and that definitely did some shuffling into points. As we continue green here. Yeah, it did some big time shuffling into points and big time shuffling, obviously, in the finishing order in that race. If I can get things to cooperate with me here, would be nice. But basically, when all was said and done, it was Granado going to victory lane, officially now with the penalty. Alternate finished second, Cabrel third, and then Cameron Boston falls to fourth in the lineup. We'll get you the point standings here in just a little bit, but some great racing going on as we have a second group starting to show back up with Musselman up top. Musselman's got Matt Houston and that 66 up on the top side. Alexander also in that battle, as I mentioned, DeMay, Franchicha, and Jesper Omen already up to the front here after starting in 12th. That VOR number 2 picking up where he left off in the first 2 races of the season. Ty Richter, DL Lemon. DL, of course, sponsoring some of these races with Bitcoin and stuff. This race here tonight, presented by Let's Race. We're only about 9 to 10 laps away from green flag pit stops potentially here. Should mention Mardonis is taking his car behind the wall, unfortunately, and is out of the race in the 30th position right now. But there's your back end of the field. The VOR car is kind of hanging out back there. You see Bart Fauerstein and Julian Altena hanging out 20th and 29th right now as the shuffling continues. Musselman bringing that top side in. As I said, this racing would be a little bit like Daytona in a stock car, except a lot faster speeds around the Speedway. All of 230 to 240 miles an hour right now around this Daytona International Speedway. All right, 17 laps in. Lap times right now at roughly 38 seconds or so, 37 seconds in the draft right now. So around a 2.5 mile track, your 45-second flat lap times are 200 miles an hour. And we're running 7 to 8 seconds faster than that. So you're looking at speeds somewhere probably in 230 miles an hour, Indianapolis type speeds right now. As a matter of fact, let's get on board with Julian here. Julian's back in the 13th position right now. He's starting to make moves because he knows green flag pit stops are coming. And he realizes how important it is to get the track position here. So we get on board with Julian. And let me throw up the old dashboard here so you can see. at 243 right there. Just amazing to see this kind of racing going on in this series. This is what makes it a lot of fun. You know, the great racing, we have not had many cautions all season long, and, you know, I don't want to be the one that jinxes anything, but here we are now at officially 120 green flag laps at Daytona in 2 races in this series history. So, I don't know. It's kind of a very interesting, because this is the track where you would think, with everybody running so close together, if you think of like a Texas Motor Speedway or something like that, you would think that speeds would cause these guys to wreck. And it's been like the exact opposite. So Musselman's driven away to about a 0.3 of a second lead. He's burning the most fuel, though, out of this pack. You obviously want to get 25 laps if you can out of the cars. And if you could do that, then obviously it's a 3-stopper for you all the way to the finish of this race. They climb to 31 degrees of banking. And you see kind of cars checking up here, just they're just trying to get organized for that pit stop. Don't be surprised you see a single file line here in just a second as cars shuffle around. Trying to find their spot in this line. And it looks like here comes Musselman to pit road, so just short of that 25 lap mark. AJ Musselman to pit road, and he is all by himself. He definitely burned up a lot of fuel leading this race. And the 54 car on pit road. Should be quick tires and fuel. Shouldn't have a problem staying on the lead lap in these cars. 8.3 pulls away. He'll get up to speed as you see. Who else? Somebody else diving off turn 4 there. That's Gonzalez. He's going to come to pit road. You can definitely see who's been in fuel safe mode potentially here and who's not. So Gonzalez comes in. Jesper Oman still up front with Seb Alexander now taking the lead. So they work their way down the back straightaway. Oscar Gonzalez leaving pit road as another car dives out of line. That's the 2 of Jesper Oman. And caution is out. Caution is out. It's Oscar Gonzalez, I believe, over here in turn 1 for the first. Oh, and he gets hit by somebody. For the first time in series history, a Daytona caution. And I think Lewis Woodall was the other car to hit him. Now, for those who watch the Super Speedway series, yes, there were cautions in that race. But when it comes to the IndyCar series, it is the first caution. I believe it is for Oscar Gonzalez. And let's see what took place. He must have spun coming off pit road. So Musselman right there must have triggered the caution when he went by. Oh, and then he gets clobbered. Not sure what that's all about. So he goes to leave. Very easy to spin the tires out of here in first gear. He should. Oh, geez. Car just goes around on him. And he's trying to stay down, but when Musselman goes by, it triggers the yellow. And here comes the pack, and then Lewis Woodall here is coming in this blue car right here. Oh, he runs into the back of that white car as everybody's checking up. Let's, there's the caution. Everybody's slowing up for the pace car, and he just locks him up. And then, oh, there's Lewis. And there's Oscar. I think Oscar out of frustration, or Lewis out of frustration, just pulled off the track. All right, so here's Mauro Ramirez, who's, I guess, the leader. I don't know what's going on here. It must be a pace car issue or something. I've seen this happen before. But I think we had pit stops happen here, and we'll show those for you right now. Or maybe we haven't had pit stops. They're all coming, I believe, to pit road this time by. So we'll have to see. Mauro Ramirez is waiting on everybody. So a little bit of craziness as we get to this pit stop right at the 1/4 mark of this race. And caution number 1 on the track. And this Let's Race Daytona 400. All right, so apparently everybody's been on pit road. I didn't see it on my highlights. But Will Lyon did win the race off pit road. And here's the pit stops right here. So I found them. And see all the cars on pit road with likely 4 tires and fuel for everybody. And there's the race off pit road being won by the 89. So here's a Mauro Ramirez actually stays out here. And that's why he is the leader of the race, I believe. As we set up here to go back to the green flag. There's Mauro in the 52 car. As we're going to come to green this time by. So a little bit of a confusing matter there with the caution coming out. Right in the middle of the green flag pit stop starting up. But either way, been a good start so far. As we're 25 laps in. All right, pace car is going to hang a left, and I think Mauro Ramirez is coming with him. He will, so that's going to leave Will Lyon as the leader of this race as they come to the green flag here. Seb Alexander, Thomas Geisler. Yeah, here we go. Green flag is out. A lot of confusion here. Down the back straightaway, Seb Alexander going to jump to the front here. That's that blue and black number 45 up top. Matt Houston there in the 3rd position. Geisler's teammate there behind him. And Sven Von Cannell there in the 5th position for him. Granado DeMay, Nicholas Sudik up to 8th there. Ty Richter and AJ Musselman, who caught a break with that caution in the 10th position. I'm sure he was in fuel save mode. Appreciate the viewers watching this afternoon. Of course, one of actually 2 races you're going to see broadcasted here, at least on the Captain eSports Network side. Of course, we're over on the VOR channel right now also. We're on Facebook and Twitter. Omen, unfortunately, not catching a good break with that caution. Here he is back, 16th position right now, trying to work his way up there through the field. Hello, Jesper. So he tries to work the draft and get around people. You see Musselman there to his outside or inside, flies by him. He just gets that momentum. Everybody else kind of checking up, and he just wants to get to the front. Boy, look at this run right here. Up to 10th, up to 9th, up to 8th. I think a lot of these guys are just being patient right now, just trying to not do anything stupid or just not put themselves in a bad position, basically, here. James Watson back here in the 39 car. Musselman there behind him now. AJ's probably in a max fuel save now because he knows he's got to get to lap 50 in this race. James Watson running a 49ers paint scheme. I'm guessing he's a San Francisco fan. And then my boy Gary Godsill here. The historian of IndyCar racing when it comes to iRacing. We ride on board Franchicha in the 96. I believe this is his VOR debut. Running in the 5th position right now. And you notice there are 5 cars ahead of him. But yet he's in the 5th position. How would that be? Well, Oscar Gonzalez has found his way in front. And is trying to get himself back on the lead lap of this race. So the leader of the race is actually the 2nd place car right now, in line. Now Franchicha going to go to the front there outside of Will Lyon. Not really much help. Thomas Christensen, appreciate you watching. Of course, on the YouTube page, as he cheers on the IAR team, which is Jesper Omen and crew. Patrick Krause up there, top side. That 00 car started 10th. And he's up here battling for the front right now. as we complete lap 38, just shy of the 100-mile mark here. Oh, up into the wall. Was that a glitch? It had to be. We cross the line, and they're still side by side up here with Kraus and Franchicha and Lyon and Alexander. Jesper Omen up here with Thomas Geisler. DL Lemon starting to make an appearance up here himself. All right, we do actually, let me see. I believe we've got this all set up here. Let's check on Julian Altena back here, as Julian rides in the 13th position. Oh, we got trouble on the track. Never mind, big wreck. Franchicha, Geisler, some of the leaders, Sebastian Kinder. I saw cars scatter, and the caution is out for a second time here at lap 40. Two drivers having a really good run. Thomas Geisler being one is out of this race, along with the 96. And what in the world happened? Oh, wow. A couple other cars getting together there. I don't know, it's just something weird. I want to back this up a little further. Because coming... So, I'm seeing this correctly. As that caution's going on... Okay, these guys are avoiding the wreck. Okay, I was trying to figure that out. Because, like, it was showing on my telemetry, people coming out pit road, and I'm like, wait a minute here. Now it's all making sense to me. So, it looks like that there was contact or something here. And Franchicha's car just brakes left. I'm going to go on board with him. Must have broke the tire or something when the contact happened, and all of a sudden there's the contact with he and Geisler afterwards. What I'm trying to see is the car. It almost seems like the car was slowing down even before the contact. But something broke. There, with the contact, something had to have broke in the car. That caused that car to just spontaneously spin to the left. Let's watch from this view here. Because they're going to hit each other right... Oh, it's actually netcode more than anything. And you can see the car is like loose all... Yeah, that was big netcode. And Geisler just nowhere to go. You see the contact also with the... That blue and black car there off the top of my head. I was looking over to see who it is. It's, Seb Alexander, I believe, is that other car. But yeah, Never Seb, yep, breaks the right front tire on his car, so he's pretty much done for. And he's taking his car behind the wall. See, Matthias Strauss has gone behind the wall. I don't know if he got damage in this wreck or not also. Let me see if that's the case here. Here's Matthias back here in the 8. There's the wreck. Oh, wow. And somebody else there involved. So a few cars involved. So it looks like from that wreck, Fauerstein, who's actually getting his car fixed. There's the damage on his car. Franchicha, Alexander, Strauss, and Geisler all taking their cars to the garage and out of this race with the second caution here. Actually ended up being a lot worse than it could have been. All right, so I started to bring it up there as the wreck happened. Let's, since something we've been able to do a couple times here of late. I don't think it's working. Julian sent me a link, but I don't think. We're going to see if we had an onboard camera of Julian today. Let me make sure I had the right link in here. Now, Julian is sporting his Let's Race paint ski or shirt. Nope, no, Julian. Leave a message at the beep. We tried. All right, going to be coming back to the green flag here. Lap number 43. We're almost halfway already. Sometimes you get cars running around here at like 37-second laps at Daytona. As we pull off and go back to the green, this is an opportunity. Let's turn it up. So just 3 laps shy of halfway. Will Lyon still leading this race from the pole. He has not led every lap. There have been some great racing, some great passing, but I think after that wreck, everybody's just kind of hang tight. Going to go single file here and ride a little bit. Von Canel, DeMay, Granado, your unofficial winner, or your official winner, I guess you should say, from Phoenix 5 weeks ago after the incident with Cameron Boston, who unfortunately is not here tonight. Altena, Kraus, and Sudik, your top 10 back there. Nick just kind of hanging tight himself. I think just kind of logging laps in a typical Nick Sudik type of way. As Mr. Aguilera does point out in the stream, and he is correct, the man on the move right now is this guy up in the 4th position right now. Look at that outside line. You see him rolling. Mauro Ramirez just shot out of a cannon. Up to 4th, up to 3rd. He's like, what fuel mileage? He had to come to pit road right before the big wreck. It ended up being a blessing in disguise. He stayed on the lead lap, and here he is now, going bonsai through the field. And that just tells me that I think this field is doing a fuel mileage race right now. I think they're trying to save fuel, and Mauro's like, screw that. Which is interesting because we went back green at about lap 45. And if that's the case, that means you're trying to do 55 laps on a one stop. Actually, 59 laps to be exact. They went to pit road at lap 41 and 42. To do 59 laps, you got to almost do 30 laps on a stint. And as I bring up the old tally board here, in our notes that we talked about pre-race, I don't see the number 30 in the fuel window. It says 23 to 27. Now, of course, that is going off of Julian Altena's strategy in his fuel window. So who knows? Maybe if you put it down in map 3 or 4, maybe 5, you could get 30 laps out of a tank. Who knows? But either way, I don't know if that's a smart way of doing it. I think we had a race a couple weeks ago in another series on Wednesday nights that came down to a fuel mileage thing, and the guys who ended up not saving fuel ended up outrunning them. So I almost am at the point where it's like, don't put yourself at risk to try to save fuel, but not be fast enough to win this race. If you got to pit twice, you got to pit twice. Musselman going top side here. It's kind of like that risk reward. It's like, yeah, saving fuel is awesome. You want to be able to not make as many pit stops. Totally understand that. But, you know, I pointed out last night in a Daytona broadcast I did. You look up the logical definition of the word racing. To be declared the winner, you have to be the first person to complete the amount of laps in the least amount of time. Doesn't matter how you get to lap 100. All that matters is you're the first one to get there in the least amount of time. If you do that, you win the race. If it takes 2 stops, it takes 2 stops. If it takes 1 stop, if it takes short pitting like Will Lyons doing, you do it. As Lyon comes in, this is an interesting play right here. He's doing it all by himself, so he's not going to have any draft. .4 seconds. There he goes. So lap 54, his fuel run is now set. He can one stop this the rest of the way. Now the question is, how much slower will he be without the pack? And here they come towards turn 1. Will getting up to speed here through 2. I'm assuming now at lap 55 here, that's 45 to go. He will be full tilt the rest of the way. So no more fuel saving on this 82's part. So we'll have to keep track, or the 89, sorry. We'll have to keep track of how his times are outside the draft compared to these guys who are in this pack. I actually am not opposed to that strategy he just did. Because now if the yellow comes out, guess who jumps back to the front? Musselman going back to the front there, as you see Von Cannell there joining him. DeMay also. All these drivers all the way to 7th position, looking for the first career VOR win. Could come here this evening. You sure about that, Joel? I say that only because if a caution comes out, he's still in a one-stop race. He should be able to jump in front of these guys who come to pit road and still be able to be the leader then at that point. Kind of like, because he's got the one less stop, he's still in the lead lap. Unless there's something I'm not catching, which is easily possible. I've been wrong so many times, I ain't afraid to admit it. Last time by a 38.18 for Will. Everybody else rating that same lap number. So he's running just as fast by himself as he is in a pack. I just don't know if the tires are a big problem right now here. I don't know if there's really any fall off at all. Oh, it's totally understand. I think with the track being so huge, I don't think tires are really an issue at all. I mean, there might be some fall off maybe, but I think you're going to see the same lap times the whole entire way around here. You see DL Lemon top side, but no, I totally see your point too about the older tires, and I could be wrong. I've never run an IndyCar race here. But Patrick Krause now in the front. Lemon, Musselman, Von Cannell, and DeMay, your top 5. Lyon ran a 38.21 last time by. That's right up there with the leaders. Here are all these guys in the pack, and Will Lyon is up here in turn 4 by himself, running qualifying laps, if you will. There he goes, and here come the leaders. Ran another 21 that time. Now, one thing I'm seeing here, Patrick Krause is starting to stretch his legs a little bit here with the pack. Here comes Julian Altena now to second. So we're starting to see a mixed bag of strategies here. Some comers and goers. Some who are saving fuel. Some are like, yeah, let's not even try it. Craig Forsyth, who is races here a good portion of times, as somebody I've gotten to know pretty well, super nice guy, said it best once to me. He said, Scala, he said, as soon as a race begins, it's a fuel mileage race. And when you think about that from a logical standpoint, he's absolutely right. As Julian topside with help from Morrow, gonna go to the front. So we complete 150 miles, 100 to go in this 400-kilometer race. 2 cautions so far. One for an incident coming off pit road with Oscar Gonzalez, and then the second caution, some net coating between the 16, or not the 16 of Geisler, but the Franchicha there in the 96, net coating off another car, and going around in the tri-oval area, and unfortunately took out 5 or 6 cars in the accident. So after this race, I'm going to put the schedule up on the screen really quickly just to update everyone where we are. Yes, you see Daytona International Speedway. That is the race we're at right now, round number 4 after a 5-week break. We take another week off next week, and we come to Fuji for the first time ever. Fuji International Speedway. That was actually originally the Indianapolis road course. Of course, we made the change on the schedule, and then Indianapolis changed their road course. So coming up in 2 weeks, our next race at Fuji. It'll be our debut there, being as this track just was announced onto iRacing, what, about 3 months ago or so? first road race on the schedule this season. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast so far. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Of course, you get notifications of when we're live here with the VOR IndyCar series or any of the other series on the Captain eSports Network. Could be GLSR that you see on Wednesday nights. You got 7500 on Sundays, and as of this week, you're going to see us Monday night on GLSR or on 7500. So looking forward to that. And of course, Friday nights, the All-American ARCA series that you saw last night in a wild race here at Daytona. But this is the one open wheel series we cover. Jose Granado running into 5th position right there. The driver that was declared the winner at Phoenix after the controversial finish in that race. All right, one car breaking off coming to pit road. That's Kraus. So again, we mix up the strategy here. And this time with 35 laps to go, he comes to pit road. So this is still a 2-stop race for him. Oh no! He about put the left sides in the wall, about took some pit crew members with him as he goes into a stall, kind of unorthodox wise, but he did it. 9.2, that could have been a lot worse. All right, so I'm trying to break down that strategy in my head. So he's got 33 laps to go, so I'm assuming he's going to do probably 15 or 16 laps on this tank, and then come right back to pit road and top off again. But now he's got to try to stay on the lead lap as Julian hawks him down like Jaws. That's probably the biggest key of this strategy. You got to stay on the lead lap now, and he's about to get eaten up. And I think I see more cars coming to pit road. DL Lemon coming in. Now, this is within the pit window. That is why you're seeing these cars on pit road right now. This is the window. And we're hearing a lot of cars calling their pit stops here. So this is where, if you are Will Lyon, you're hoping that this thing just continues on through and he continues to run good pace. And if he can, he might be the leader of this race. As here comes Granado, here comes Julian. It looks like Mauro Ramirez on pit road here. You see the times down there at the bottom. Granado 8.7, Ramirez 8.6, 8.7 for Julian. As they all pull away. All right, Musselman's going to come in now. Looks like Sven is on his way in. Gonzalez looks like Godso coming in. This is at the lap 70. Oh, I think is that Gary that spun around? It is Gary Godso that went topsy-turvy there, and he's still having issues. Coming onto pit road, tough break there. And now gives the lead to Pablo Diaz Francis in the 63, who continues to stay out here. As everybody cycles around, still got a couple more cars to pit here. Looks like Matt Houston is in right now. Josh Tucker, James Watson, Sebastian Kinder, Dakota DeMay all leaving pit road. Oh, and around goes the 49er mobile. That could bring a caution. There it is. Caution is out. Since he's in a football paint scheme, James Watson fumbles his exit of pit road. And caution out for the third time once again in the middle of pit stops. Now that is the break that Will Lyon did not want. Because all these cars that just came to pit road with everybody checking up and slowing down are going to come out in the lead. However, here comes the fuel strategy into play now, because we're at 28 laps to go as this caution comes out. I'm assuming the ones who just pitted, they're going to be in max fuel save, map 8. The ones who pitted a few laps ago, the Will Lyons, the DL Lemons, those guys are probably coming back to pit road and topping off the tank. All right, so here we go. So Jesper's coming back. I wonder if these guys aborted their pit stop maybe, or did not even stop, or maybe weren't even on pit road. So here comes Omen and Ty Richter. I just overheard, I think it was AJ Musselman make the comment of, hey, oh, one down the grass here. Granado's out there cutting the grass. All right, things are getting all topsy-turvy here. So, all right, I'm going to take a break real quick. We're going to come back, and I'll figure out what's going on here. I'm pretty sure somebody will be the starter. Somebody will be the leader of this race. That's pretty guaranteed here. You're watching the Captain Esports Network in the Let's Race Daytona 400 here from the virtual Daytona International Speedway.
This is your chance to get behind the wheel. The opportunity to race just like the pros. From the grassroots levels, where we all got our start, to the most popular race cars on the planet. From the fairgrounds of Nashville to the high banks of Daytona, to tracks that will never be forgotten. Realistic driving, intense competition, all from the comfort of your own home. This is the ultimate motorsports simulation. This is iRacing.
All right, back we are. 27 laps to go. We should get one to go this time by with Pablo Diaz Francis now leading this race. Nick Sudik there in second. DL Lemon, the Bitcoin master, up there in third. Josh Tucker fourth. Jesper Omen there in the fifth position. As you see, a lot of the cars coming back to pit road here. Top off the fuel tank. And I see somebody with damage here. Is that the 00 Patrick Krause? It looks like his, was it the left rear, maybe in his winglet there on the side, all broken. So as they say in racing, things are about to get interesting. As I mentioned, next race for the series will be in 2 weeks at Fuji. And after that, we'll start really getting into the rhythm of the season. Of course, the reason why we're having all these breaks is when we put the schedule together, didn't want to conflict much with IndyCar races, actual races we're talking about, or special events. that are coming up for iRacing. Of course, we've had Spa 24 in the last couple of weeks. I know the that special France race that apparently we can't say the name of it anymore. That one is set on iRacing for next week. So, got some interesting stuff coming up. We had the Iowa races, of course, that were at night as Francis starts on the bottom and gets himself a great restart on Sudik. The problem is it might have been too good of a restart. Josh Tucker up there in third. Jesper Oman jumps up to fourth now with Sven Von Cannell there in the fifth position. Very spread out restart. Let's see how much a role that could play in the end as Diaz Francis leading this race. And that is a couple of lap cars right there in front of him. And those lap cars are actually Dakota DeMay and Matt Houston, who are praying that something happens here in the next 25 laps and keeps them in front. They're going to work together, teammates. Of course, you got fuel save now you got to worry about. Can you get to 25 laps on a tank of fuel? And now you got a very spread out field of cars. Ty Richter on pit road. Is this a penalty maybe? Not sure what's going on with the 33. So many wild cards still to figure out here in this race. Appreciate Let's Race for being a part of the sponsorship for this race. We'll be on a bunch of the races here throughout the season. We ride with Caesar Cabrel there to 70. Caesar running 10th right now. Three cars behind him. Might be one that is taking advantage of these yellows to get himself back into a potential winning situation, and that is the 11 of Oscar Gonzalez. Remember, he went for that spinneroo off of pit road that brought the first caution out and even got clobbered by Lewis Woodall. Oh, one car back on track. Look out. I think that was Dakota. Something happened with Dakota DeMay. And I saw him all the way down near New Smyrna. We'll see if I can find what happened to him. Oh, wow. Ty Richter comes out on track. Oh, no, I actually lost control of the car right in front of the pack, and Dakota had to dive for it. And that has shuffled everything all up. Now, unfortunately, Dakota has lost the pack because of it and lost his chance to potentially get back on the lead lap, and it leaves Matt Houston up here by himself with DL Lemon now leading this race. And he turned Lemon into lemonade. Look at him in the LA Dodgers mobile. Geez, no pressure, Scala, but if the Dodger car wins in memory of Vince Scully, how are you going to call this race? Rest in peace to a legend right there. I actually got to meet him when I was a young kid, growing up in Vero Beach. course, that was the home at the time of the Dodgers. And I will argue to my grave that that is the true Dodger town still. We even had a elementary school right by the stadium called Dodger Town Elementary. A.J. Musselman there in the 4th position. John Silva in the 5th position there. We still have 15 cars, it looks like, right now in the lead lap. And there's your last one, Fran Herrera in that 85 car, the Spanish driver. Just kind of hanging tight here, seeing if anything's going to happen in these 18 laps. Pretty sure I can safely say everybody has saved enough fuel to get to the finish of this race. Lap times right now 38 to 39 seconds. Question is, when do you start making moves? You see Jesper Oman's already moved to the front. Speaking of moves, who is that flying up top? Is that Dakota? Yes, that is Dakota DeMay. Somebody give that man a Superman cape. The video game designer. By the way, go check out his games over on... You can tell people are saving fuel at that pace. He just drove to the front. As a matter of fact, Matt Houston's driven away from this pack. You can check out his video games on Steam, of course. All thanks to Sunset Arctic. So obviously everybody's still in fuel mode, so apparently you can't make it all the way on fuel. Musselman jumps topside on Lemon for 3rd. Of course, Voltic Pistol is one of them. You can check on Steam. "13 laps to go. Jesper Oman, Pablo Diaz, Francis, A.J. Musselman, your top 3. And of course, so many million questions being asked here in the next couple of laps. How's the fuel mileage look? How are you looking into pack-wise? Can you get to the front, make moves? Will there be another caution? I mean, so many things to figure out here very quickly. Another game, by the way, is Echo Blade. You can check that out, of course, on Steam also. Echo Blade's the newest game that he's brought out. Talking about Dakota DeMay. So, and so many different strategies. Now you see the 21, DL Lemon falling back into the 10th position right now. Just how much fuel save has these guys done? Enough to get to the finish? We're going to find out here in just a few moments. Jesper Oman trying to go 3 for 3 in his starts, but 3 for 4 overall in the series. Julian Altina is now up to second. He's looking to get another win in the series. Of course, Pablo Diaz-Francis there third. Will Lyon, who's been up front in most of this race. And now you see the pack starting to get a little racy here. So I think the green light is starting to come on for a lot of these cars. They do have the teammates who are locking down that front row of this line that are both on the tail end of the lead lap here, so they have every right to be battling to stay on the lead lap. Dakota DeMay and Matt Houston up front, and then the second row, that's where your leaders are. Will Lyon and Julian Altina. Kind of weird. They're hearing they're going to be actually on pit road in the next lap or two. Which is interesting. I just heard this over my ears. And I say that because I can hear the audio in the game through my ears. And if I wanted to, I'd put it on the air, but I'm not playing that game. So somebody made the suggestion about the lap cars being out of the way. So I follow up with this question. They're on the tail end of the lead lap. Are they considered lap cars right now? Don't they have the right to hold their lane? I'm just throwing it out there as a question. I mean, yes, you don't want to impede a finish, but those two have the right to try to stay on the lead lap in case a wreck does happen. Now, granted, they are coming to pit road here in about a lap or so. So the leaders are going to be able to battle it themselves. But if you're not a lap down, like right now, Matt Houston on the top side is not a lap down. Dakota DeMay, the bottom car, not a lap down. They're on the lead lap right now. All right, so now technically Matt's a lap down. And Dakota's going to jump out of the way. He's probably coming to pit road here, so not sure about Matt. And we got cars coming to pit road here. Oh my gosh, I knew. That was Matt Houston that dove the pit road. That was impressive how he went top to bottom like that. Not probably the safest move, but hey, it worked. Nobody got wrecked. All right, so Will Lyon now leads. So all the cars that are on the lead lap and stuff like that are out of the way now. Julian Altina, Pablo Diaz-Francis, AJ Musselman, Sven Von Knell, your top five. Obviously, chances are somebody's going to victory lane for the first time this season, as we've only had 2 winners. Who is going to put themselves in the right spot to win this thing? So you see we're down to 17 cars on track. Looks like Matt Houston's taking his car behind the wall. You got 15 cars on the lead lap, and all of them within this pack. As we come to 5 laps to go. Oh, some contact there mid-pack. I thought they were going to wreck. Topside, here comes Francis. The first move is made. As Von Cannell's having some connection issues. Pablo Diaz, Francis to the lead. Crossover, here comes Lion back. They're 3 wide mid-pack. Just make it to the white flag. Remember, open wheel races, especially in this series, do not end with green-white checkers. So this is it. Final lap from Daytona. Lion leads as Muscleman tries to get to the top side. That was Gonzalez up there in that blue car, I believe, that scraped the wall up. Oh, cars into the wall. We'll cover that in a second. And now more contact. A couple pink cars hit each other. Will Lion protecting the bottom side. Can Muscleman get to him? Pulls out top side. To the line. It is Will Lion getting a win. Has more carnage. Will Lion has won the Let's Race Daytona 400 and becomes the 3rd winner of the season. Muscleman comes up short in 2nd again. Jesper Omen 3rd. Julian Altena and Sven Von Knell. Your top 5. And a lot of things happen there at the end of the race. Let's go cover all the carnage there. So it's going to start. I think that's Grinaldo that gets turned. Right there. Sure is. Grinaldo gets turned. Trying to see who the other cars are in that. It looks like they just kind of hooked together here. Oh, you know what? I see that blue car jumps up a little bit. And there's the contact with Grinaldo and I think that's Cesar Cabral that's in there, and also Fran Herrera, who goes over top. That's the first wreck that happens. Let's go hit up the drone view here. Yeah, I got to back up a little bit more. We don't do machine gun views here. Come on, Dan. And so they go 3 wide here. I'm watching that blue car. He's kind of 2 right now. It kind of works his way back down to the bottom a little bit. And then kind of moves back up. But either way, it looks like those 2 touch. I don't know really if it was much of the factor as I made it sound. But they come together. And Herrera goes playing Ramsey-Doo. And then these 2 teammates here hit each other going into 3 and 4. They save it. That's Mauro Ramirez, who's up there on the top side, who was making those moves. I thought it was Oscar at first, but I'm wrong. Apologize there. It was actually Mauro Ramirez making that move top side. Everybody stays in the gas and continues to get the draft. Musselman gets a pretty good run. You see Jesper Omen there in the 2, getting a pretty good run himself. Musselman makes the move. One car goes to the apron, probably because he was off the pace. And they're 4 wide, coming to the line, and I think that's Julian ends up getting into the side of I see Gonzalez in that one also. I think Sudik, yep, Sudik's in that wreck. John Silva is going for a ride there in the 15. That was Pablo that actually went to the apron to avoid the carnage there. So a whole lot of wrecks, a whole lot of action. And one winner, Will Lyon, goes to victory lane as we look at the results. As Lyon wins it over Musselman. Indy Alliance 1-2 for them. Jesper Omen finishes 3rd. Julian Altena and Sven Von Canel finishing in 5th. Mauro Ramirez, Pablo Diaz, Francis, your top 7. John Silva, Nick Sudik, and Josh Tucker finishing 10th. DL Lemon, Cesar Cabral, Oscar Gonzalez 13th. 14th goes to Jose Granado. Herrera, Richter, Dakota DeMay, and Matt Houston finishing 17th and 18th in the race. 19th to Patrick Krause, who was having a good run until earlier. James Watson, Sebastian Kinder, Gary Godso finishing 22nd. Bart Fauerstein, Sev Alexander, Thomas Geisler, Matthias Strauss, Frankie Franchicha, 27th there. 28th, Diego Pereno. And the final 2 finishers, Lewis Woodall and Mardonis there in the 30th position, unfortunately. All right, let's talk to some drivers here. Top 3 finishers from this wild madness at Daytona again. But on the schedule next season, Julian, just saying. As let's bring our 3rd place finisher, Jesper, up in here. Jesper, welcome back, man. I know you didn't get to make the Phoenix race. Unfortunately, you're not going perfect on all your starts this season. I'll break the bad news to you. But you do get a 3rd place finish in a wild one here at Daytona.
Is P1, P2, and P3. That's awesome. So, this track is a little bit of a lottery. So P3 basically feels like a win for me.
Yeah, talk about the strategy, because twice tonight we had green flag pit stops break out and Rex broke out with it, and it kind of had everything jumbled up, because I know after the first one, especially you were in the back.
Yeah, I got an EOL for entering a closed pit. I was just entering the pits when the yellow came out, Palu style. So there was nothing I could do. And then exactly the same thing happened when the second yellow came out. But that time I had time to pull off. And I had like 0.2 gallons to make it around the 1 lap or behind the pace car. So yeah, that was good. And well, what can I say? Like there was some part of that race, like in the mid like when we had like 50 to go, when we went halfway, there was like a slight chance you could go a pit stop short. I was like calculating, I had to go 29 laps under green for that strategy to play out. I don't know if that's possible. 27 is possible, 28 probably, 29 laps, I don't know. So basically what happened when the last yellow came out, everybody got had it like everything was leveled out, and from there on you just had to save as much fuel as you could. And I was in map 5. I was a little bit too aggressive probably in the up front. I wasted too much fuel. There were people behind me that had more fuel that could have like 2 or 3 full song laps there at the end. I could only have 1. But yeah, I got a little bit lucky. I think Pablo ran out of fuel in front of me coming to the checkered. So, and he, I know he runs a lot in NASCAR, so he moved out of the way, like they do in that series, and that basically gave me an ocean of space. So I just sailed home in P3.
I was going to ask, is there, this might be a hard question to answer in a way, but is there a way to balance out saving fuel and not hurting yourself speed wise?
Mm, Here, I don't think it mattered that much. I was part of this race even in map 8 because that was possible to save a little bit of extra fuel. Um, and this track, I mean, you can just stay in map 5. I think it's okay. You can even defend from people behind in map 5. You can even You can even go around the whole field in map 5. So I think here it's more about being in the right position when it comes down to the last couple of laps. You got to be like top 10 for sure.
That's crazy, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations on your third top 3 finish in 4 races. Shout out to whoever you like to, bud.
Yeah, thanks. Shout out to my teammates, Will for winning P1 and AJ for getting a podium P2. That's awesome for the team. So we're ready for the next race. Unfortunately, I cannot make the next race, but I am sure that my teammates will keep our banner high.
Absolutely, my man. Well, great job tonight. Great third place finish.
Thanks, Chris.
You too, buddy. Yes, Roman finishing in the 3rd position. Obviously, wish him the best. We'll see him back at the Brickyard coming up in a few weeks. That'll be the race after Fuji. As we bring in AJ Musselman, who finishes in the 2nd position. I feel like we've talked about this before, but still a great effort there, and obviously made the run for the finish just a little too late. But you had a wild race yourself there throughout.
Yeah, that was a fun race. P2 to another IAR teammate. That's how things go. But it was a great race. Started up front, and then I just went into fuel save mode really early on, and then everyone was fuel save mode at the end, and it was all about who could turn it up first at the end of the race, and that was the strategy. Save early in the run, then go full song the last lap and a half or so, and almost got Will there, but I love the 1, 2, 3 for Indy Alliance Racing. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I remember the first stop of the race. You came to pit road. I think it was lap 23, and I couldn't help but think like, oh, that's not good. If this thing stays green like last or a couple seasons ago, I'm like, this might not be good for him. But obviously the cautions worked out, and it seemed like all the cautions tonight were right during pit stops.
Yeah, I was worried about a caution-free race. I did not want to lead. I did not want to be up there. I wanted to drop to the back right after the green flag, but nobody would pass me. So on the outside, so I couldn't save and had to pit like 4 laps earlier than most of the field. So I'm glad we got some yellows, and I was able to get back on sequence with everybody else, and was there at the end. Really good points day. I think Jesper and I just pulled away a little bit further. So yeah, great day overall.
There you go, my man. Well, great job. Congratulations on the top 3. Shout out to everybody like you.
Of course, the Indy Alliance racing team. Shout out to the whole team. That was so much fun. Nice to get a little bit of a points bump before we hit the road course. But yeah, have a good rest of your day.
Hey, you too, my friend. Thank you, sir. AJ Musselman finishing in the 2nd position tonight here. I believe it's a second place finish. Say that 3 times fast. I bet you won't do it. Yeah, great job to him. I'm just working my way back to the channel so I can move you down or move you up, whatever you. Yeah, you already moved. Oh, no, I got you. There you go. And let's get our winner into the room, and that is Will Lyon, who celebrates this evening. Will, man, you did everything. It seemed like correct tonight. When I say that, it's like I don't think I ever saw you outside the top 10 in the race. You kept yourself up front, up into clean air, made the moves that you needed to, and it paid off for you getting that win in the end.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. It was mental. I mean, we were constantly looking at different strategies, whether we could fuel save to the end and stuff like that. And I actually went on a different strategy to AJ and Jesper, and it would have been interesting to see how it went. But we got that caution with, I don't know, 20 odd laps to go, and then it all became sort of just a pack race to the end. And I don't really know how, but we've come out with a 1, 2, 3 for the Indy Alliance team, which is just phenomenal. Just I couldn't believe it when we came across the line and I saw, us 3 teammates all at the front somehow at a pack race like Daytona. It was just wow, great result.
Yeah, it definitely worked out there, especially when the contact happened going into turn 3. How much did that actually help more than hurt your situation, knowing that, obviously at AJ there behind you, but, it gave a little bit of a gap for that split second before the pack kind of caught back up with the draft. I had to assume that probably helped you more than hurting as you came to the stripe.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them coming in the mirror, and then I think I heard Jasper in our Discord channel mention they were wrecking, and I just kept my eyes forward at that point for the last corner, and just I was watching AJ drafting up behind me, and I thought he was going to get me at the line there, but yeah, that wreck certainly, or whatever happened just behind us there, whatever happened there, that certainly sealed the at least second place for me there. So and Jesper did really well to avoid it as well, and stuck into P3.
Right.
So maybe he's the sneaky Swede rather than Marcus Ericsson.
It's something about Swede drivers finishing in the big tracks. I don't know what the deal is here, but now how's it feel to get that win here though at VOR?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I mean, this is my first one, I suppose. Yeah, and I'm mainly a road driver, so to get it on an oval like Daytona is pretty mad. So yeah, I just I was I had a bit of trepidation about this race. I thought it's going to be a bit of a meme, and to an extent it was, but the strategy kept it really interesting, and yeah, I can't believe it. The last thing I thought was getting a pole and a win at Daytona.
At
It's
Daytona,
crazy.
yeah, that's a meme right there. Go put a meme of yourself crossing the finish line. There you go. Great job, and shout out to whoever you like to.
Yeah, I just everyone at Indy Alliance Racing, and in particular AJ, Jasper, and Seb as well, who was in the voice chat with us. Just we played an absolute blinder, it seems. I don't know how, but we did. So brilliant result for the team.
He's playing a game of blackjack and drew 21. Great job.
Yes, exactly.
Nice job on that one, man. Great job, and go celebrate the win.
Yes, thanks, man.
Absolutely, you too, buddy. That's Will Lyon finishing in victory lane, and from the pole, winning his first career VOR race as we bring in our fourth place finisher and the boss man, Julian Altena, who had himself a wild race himself. Julian, that was a wild one.
Hello, you got the cameras on me?
I don't have the camera on. The camera wasn't working.
Really? Wasn't it working? Oh, that's a shame.
Yes.
But anyways, yeah, it was a good race. It was pretty clean from my side, at least. I did hear some issues, but other than that, I think everything else at the front was clean. So it was a good race. Was just taking it easy at the start, playing with the teammates, just playing the strategy game, and I think it paid off pretty well for myself and Mauro on the Aqua side of the team. So yeah, it's a pretty good race.
Yeah, and of course, the race to the finish there, a little contact with some other cars and some wildness there at the end. I know fuel strategy played a big story in this race because there were times where, like, I saw you and a few others in the back, and then you guys would just fly up to the front, and all of a sudden you go back to the back. It was like helter-skelter trying to figure out what the right strategy was.
Yeah, most of the time I shot forwards. I was trying to actually get the bonus points for leading a lap. That's what I was trying to do. But then every time I did that, I stalled. And then when I was racing with who was it again? I can't remember who it was, but it was one of the new drivers to the league. He was in the lead. He pitted with a few laps to go before the yellow came out. But yeah, once I was racing with him and he pitted, then I was able to get the lead lap. So that was good. Got the bonus point for that. But yeah, that was really what I was trying to do, shooting forward. Not really trying to get into anything because I knew this being such a tight track as well. You know, the incident is in the tightest corner. So if you stay back, you can mostly get out of it. And that's what I did as well, because there was a huge wreck on the front straight. I was like 5 car lengths back and I was able to avoid it. So that's exactly why I was staying back most of the race.
Well, great job on your part. Congratulations, and shout out to whoever you like to.
Yes, thank you. So thanks to Joshua Tucker and Kevin Missig. I really apologize if I got your last name wrong, but they're from Let's Race. They sponsored the race.
Way to go.
Great bunch of people. Joshua is one of my good friends now as well. So yeah, I want to thank him for sending me a Let's Race t-shirt already, despite not getting a podium in one of their hosted races, but they host iRacing races for cash prizes. And yeah, there's a race coming up in a few weeks where you can actually gain or get a opportunity to race a real car there. So it's pretty cool. So check them out. Let's Race. They are one of the league sponsors for the entire season. They have 2 more sponsored races coming up. And yeah, the winner of this race will also get a t-shirt from them, I heard. And it's a shame you don't have the camera on me, but I'm in my full Let's Race gear right now. I got a hat and also the T-shirt, which I just said, so that's pretty cool.
I'm pretty sure the camera blocked you out probably purposely.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm just too ugly for the broadcast, right? So... No, just joking. But yeah, I want to thank them. I want to thank you for broadcasting as well, and everybody else that made it a good race today.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Go enjoy your 4th place finish, your 2nd straight top 4. As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, you finished 2nd at Phoenix with the issues and stuff. So great job.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. 2 weeks, the next race.
Yes, we'll see you at Fuji. Konnichiwa. That's Japanese for hello. Yes. Anyways. All right. Julian Alta finishing in the 4th position in this race. So, all right, it's going to do it here from Daytona. I actually have a race here tonight, so I think about that. But yeah, we'll get ready for Fuji in 2 weeks. That'll be the next time you'll see us on the air for the IndyCar series from VOR. We'll get the points all updated and get that ready to go come 2 weeks from now. But we head out and we say congratulations to Will Lyon on getting the win here at the virtual Daytona International Speedway in the Let's Race Daytona 400. And we'll see you in Fuji here in just a couple weeks. And always a reminder, this isn't just a game, it's iRacing. See ya!